Greetings in Hotep. This is to give an update to the investigating officials. I, Aileen Dorothea Atkins, have received $0 from Abraham Vada Jones for child support. In the year of 2024, I received $0 in 2023. I have received $0 from Clarence Joseph Washington Jr. for child support. 2024, 2023, $0. I've received $0 from Clarence Joseph Washington Jr. for my daughter Angola, born February 25th, 2007, $0 in life. I've never received $1 from him. For my daughter Abby, born June 14th, 2010. In life, I've received about $2,200 in life from Abraham Vada Jones. I suspect my youngest sister, Ava Raquel Atkins, born October 26, 1973, and her our only brother, Anthony Catharterus Atkins, born April 14th or 15th. I think his year is 1965. He's not hard to find with a middle name like Catharterus. He followed me to the child support enforcement on Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard. And I am alleging now that he had to pay the person for my personal information after I left. The next day, was it the next day? The next time I was going to child support, Marvin Ballard, Ballard, appeared. This was the second time I saw Marvin. I said to Marvin, I ain't seen you twice in 20 years. Now I see you twice in 2 days. What you up to? I was like, no, I'm on my way to the child support office. So Ava is in connection with Marvin. His nickname is Tony Ballard. And I'm pretty sure he has a drug problem. And I just saw him again a couple of weeks ago in Amscott. He was with an elderly lady. I think his grandmother is deceased, but that sure looked like her rolling out. So maybe it was a sister or auntie. But they live on Mohawk and 34th Street. He lives on Mohawk and 34th Street in Tampa, Florida, East Tampa, right by Discount Auto. So those two, my brother, my youngest sister, and, well, Al was involved in it too, but in this particular, let's give Alva's information. Alva Melreen Atkins is my oldest sister. She was born July 6th, 1969. So they have come together. They've been talking to the baby daddies, and I don't know what kind of lies they've been telling, because Angola and Abby have been with me ever since I pushed them out in the bathroom. Abby was born at 2212 East Mallory Avenue, Tampa, Florida, 33605. Behind the Florida Sentinel in a shotgun house that my mother bought from her mother. My mother is Dorothy Jean Atkins, and her mother is Irene P. Scarborough. Now, I know they're telling a lot of lies, so they may have Ethel Kate Fambro, my auntie, down as my mother, or Rosemary Frazier, which is my auntie Cookie. That's her nickname. They both live in Georgia. Does Auntie Cookie, Rosemary, live in Spalding County? Okay, I think they're all in Griffin, Georgia, Spalding County. Uncle Pumpkin, Gideon Henley, may be a part of it. His wife is Catherine Henley. She could be lying and saying that she's my mother too. Okay, so I've received $0 in child support in 2023 and 2024. This is a mid-year update from either one of them. I have not seen either one of them. Let me see. Let me make sure. I definitely haven't seen Clarence, even though I feel like he has been in the area. He is a warlock, and he had this like pain in his foot. Whenever he's near, I get that pain in my foot, and my feet cramp up and curl up. If you're not well versed in understanding energy and how a person can manipulate energy even though they're not physically next to you. I know it will sound crazy to you, but they have been doing witchcraft on me for a very long time. I'm alleging, were going through the trash and getting personal effects pads with menstrual blood, plastic forks that we might have eaten off of, anything that they could use to energetically link themselves to us to cause harm. They did a really heavy death ritual on my daughter, Angola, and she was under the weather, something serious. It's only the love of God and me obeying God that she is alive and well. And they sent somebody to, they've done several death spells on me. You probably don't need to know all of this, but it's becoming more prevalent. They have put insurance policies on people and killed them with death magic. So you're going to have to become well versed in this if you're going to do investigations with CIA, FBI, because people are going to be dropping like flies and it's going to look like, well, what happened? And you'll know that this is death magic. And now that everybody has phones and you all have the ability to tap into people's smart houses, smartphones, smart cars, you'll be able to witness a lot of these rituals, and you will be able to put one and two together and come up with three. It's very real. And if you just think basically, God spoke everything into existence. So the power of speaking is powerful. We have been living in a mundane, nominal society, and we haven't given much thought to it because in the past, secret societies were secret. Now they're not so much secret. You all have taken away all of the mundane ways people can make money, so they have to become more sophisticated. And now the sophistication has led them to insurance fraud, marrying people, staying with them for about 6, 7 years, and then sacrificing them. They might have been slowly poisoning them since the third year. Men are impregnating women that they don't want to be with. They walk away from them, never come and check on the children because they plan to kill those children. In these secret societies, you have to make sacrifice. And I think this is probably against the rule to sacrifice your own family, but some of these new sects that are coming up don't have rules. So the vigilante groups are doing whatever. So they'll impregnate 4 or 5 different women with babies, never take care of the children because they're going to come back and sacrifice them later. And it's cruel, but this is what's happening. Some men get women pregnant intentionally, beat them so that they have a miscarriage, and they use that as a sacrifice. Some women go and do abortions. They go to the doctors and get some of the babies, whatever, so that they can eat it, so that they can use it in a ritual. It's a lot of sick stuff going on. So I have received $0 from Anthony, and none of my mail. Received $0 from Ava, and none of my mail. I've received personally $0 from Alva. However, my oldest daughter graduated on May 31st, and Angola and Abby, my 2 youngest girls that I gave birth to at home, that have been with me since I pushed them out in the bathroom. Okay, they went to the graduation of their oldest sister. Alva, my sister, gave my 2 youngest children, my 2 youngest girls, a ride to the University Area Transfer Center so they could get on the bus and come back. They told me that Alva gave them $7. So she gave my daughter $7. I'm assuming she gave it to the oldest of the two girls, which is Angola. Alva has given me a couple of pieces of mail way back when we were at the building, Dr. Twiggs's building, and that's been almost a year. July 26th of 2024, we have been away from Dr. Twiggs's building for a year. And she never sent me my important mail, court papers, checks, none of that. Letters from the baby daddies. She didn't give me none of that. She just sent me little BS mail. Now, I lost my thought. Let me see if I can recollect it. Alva keeps sending word that I need to go to the courts and get my money. If I keep waiting, it's going to be a long time, because they put together some sham sale of my childhood home to cover up the fact that we still own the property. They have illegally concocted some kind of marriage between me and someone else and removed me from the property. So when my son Amun gave me some of my mail, there was a piece of paper from a attorney Wong, and this was probably a piece of fraud paperwork also, saying, oh, your house at 6010 North 32nd Street was sold. There's $77,000 left over to Anthony K. Atkins, Alva M. Atkins, Aileen D. Atkins, and Ava R. Atkins. But when you call the number, nobody ever picks up. I was never going to go get this money because they're going to get me my house back, my childhood home, which my mother, Dorothy Jean Atkins, said do not sell. That's what they're going to get me. Arthur Atkins picked out that lot, had that house built for his family. Now, after he lost his job at the mattress making company in St. Pete, he fell into full-time alcoholism. But my mom, his wife, Dorothy Jean Atkins, held things together for the family through good and bad and a lot of domestic violence, terror. And she paid that house off. In her will, she listed, don't sell this house. Keep this house as a place when people are down, they can come back, rest up, recalibrate their life, and go back out into the world and give it another try. She knew what we would be up against. But my other three siblings, being the greedy, gluttonous types of people that they are, instead of them, working hard and getting what they want, they're like, oh, well, we gonna sell it from underneath her. And that's what they did. But let me tell you how they did it. They sent a homosexual male married to another man, I am alleging. What's that man's name? Can I say his name? Donnie Dwayne Flowers, to catfish me. Get to know me, get to trust me, get me to tell him all of my business so that they knew how to move. Well, if we have DCF take her kids, she's going to give up her parental rights and fight us. So what we're going to do is have a police officer pull her over, tell her she ain't got no insurance, take her driver's license and her tag, JDJN53, Tampa Police Officer Thomas Kelly, or Kelly Thomas. I think it's a fake name. But this happened at 3:41 p.m. on the corner of Nebraska and Palm, across the street from that Palm Grill. And they took my driver's license, A325-004-70-924-0. It is now expired, so they're trying to find ways to get me to go back and get another driver's license so they can continue their corruption. See, if I go into the DMV to do the things that I need to do to reinstate my driver's license, then what they're going to do is go in there with $100 bills, because they got all my money. And I got plenty of money, but I ain't got $1 to my name. Okay? They will pay the person at the DMV office to give them a copy of my driver's license or to tell me, oh, you can't do such and such. And then they'll send a doppelganger back in. They might even have them take a picture of me, a current picture. But I won't be the one to end up with my physical driver's license. They will pay to cause roadblocks so that I don't end up with it. So I've been watching these little patterns, and it's like, no, I'm not going in there to do that. I had 5 food stamp cards because somebody was getting food stamps in my name. And when I decided to go get food stamps for myself, they were like, we ain't finna give up this money. So they kept calling my card and reporting it stolen. I really think that was Melina Jubilee DeBeck. She was the roommate to my daughter, Aset, my oldest daughter, Aset, when she was living at the Good Samaritan Inn hostel. She was in room 207. More than likely, Melina's not still there. But Melina is a doppelganger to my daughter, Aset Atkins. She was stealing my daughter's ID and doing different things and pretending to be her. I am alleging. My daughter doesn't believe that. She thinks Melina's the greatest and she wouldn't do that. And so they've been sending people to use our information and to misuse our information. So I, Aileen Atkins, have never been married in life to nobody. But what I'm learning is that I may have been married 3 or 4 times fraudulently so that my siblings can take my money. They've been stealing from me and people who support me for years. So this attorney Wong, W-O-N-G, I took those papers to the courthouse and I said, they are lying. So I wanted to investigate the sale of the house. And that allegedly happened January of 2023. And I think it's through that home association company on Del Mabry and Waters. I went there once to try to talk to those people and get an understanding of what was going on. But my brother, he promises people large amounts of money. Well, when I sell this house, I'll give you this, I'll give you that. Our home at 1316 Kill Place, that needs to be investigated as well. That's in Valrico, Florida, 33594. And then 2212 East Mallory Avenue, Tampa, Florida, 33605. And 2210 East Mallory Avenue, Tampa, Florida, 33605. I'm pretty sure I was told not to say that. Okay, so those are the 4 Tampa properties. The other property my mother bought in her name got switched into Anthony's name. That property is at 700 East Harem, Opelika, Florida. I lived there with Anthony after he encouraged me not to take my apartment in Tampa Park, to come hurry up because he had a roofing job out of town and, I needed to come and take care of my twins. They kept trying to keep me from getting my own stability so that they could lie and tell the courts I'm crazy, I can't take care of myself, and I need a power of attorney, a trustee, a conservatorship so that they could be over my money and they could do what they did. Take trips to Jamaica, buy houses and cars. I'm sitting in a building right now that doesn't have running water or electricity. And I'm peaceful, but what I'm saying to you is I can handle my own funds. I can handle my own affairs. This is what you call defamation of character, grand larceny, malicious prosecution, cruel and unusual punishment. We have needs. And when I called them and asked them for $100 back in December so that I could get a heater buddy or buddy heater, I was standing in Home Depot. It was very cold in this house. And we had to get extra blankets to keep warm. But surely they could have come together and gave me $100. but they didn't want to. They wanted to try to get me to sign something. See, they'll take that one signature and cut and paste it and put it everywhere. And then that'll be like, well, you saw her, on the video footage, go in there and she signed it. And they'll just be lying because they've already paid off several corrupt clerks at the 13th Judicial Circuit Court. Tamika probably isn't there anymore, but Tamika, Suttle, was the last thing I saw. She was the clerk that stamped the eviction notice that put me out of Dr. Twiggs's building, Dr. Rudolph Levi Twiggs, at 3304 East Hillsborough Avenue. Before that, just a year roughly before, June 2nd, 2022, when I was evicted from my childhood home, they used an illegal detainer. An illegal detainer is only used when the person you are putting out has no interest in the property. Now, at 6010 North 32nd Street, I was 25% owner. I'm 25% owner of my mother's estate, my mother and father estate. So they couldn't use that form unless I didn't have any interest in the air property, and I did have interest. But they used 4 Hillsborough County Sheriff officers and 4 Tampa Police Department officers to evict me. So this shows you there was bribes, and there were either fake police officers in uniforms and they were not a part of the force, or there were people, police officers and sheriff officers, that accepted bribes to do a corrupt act. So the police officer gave me a 365-day trespassing warrant or warning. You can't come back to this property for 365 days. They did that with both of the evictions. Tampa is a very corrupt place. There's a couple of corrupt judges that have to be removed. There's a couple of a bunch of corrupt attorneys, but you can deal with them. Probate attorneys. The probate department is where the corruption is happening, and they don't want me talking about it because there's so many people whose properties have been stolen and they didn't even know that somebody gave them property. So many people, money has been stolen and they didn't even know the money had been awarded to them. I have money from when we sued USF back in 1999. Where is my money? Workman's comp. Where is it? No, you can talk to my fake friend, Natalie Renee Carnegie. She's probably here in Tampa somewhere because she's going to that federal courthouse down there, I'm sure, to try to get some straightening. If she's still alive, I'm pretty sure she's still alive. She probably done, paid money to get a, what do you call that when they reduce your stomach so you can lose weight? She was a big girl, probably about a 20. Now 26 came across my mind, so she might be done gained some weight. When I was hanging out with her on Old St. Augustine Road in Tallahassee, fighting to get my twins back, running up the road, talking to Jeb Bush over and over again for what it was worth. That was the governor at the time. Charlie Crist at that time was the attorney general. She was about a 22, 24. She could be a 26 now. Okay, so this turned out to be much longer than I thought it would be. So I've never married anybody. There should be nobody over anything of mine. I am a competent and intelligent person who got railroaded when she was giving birth to her twins at Morton Plant Mease Hospital on May 26th in the year of 2004. I requested a lotus birth. I wanted them to leave the placentas attached so that I could take my twins home, boy-girl twins, They both had their own placenta. I'm Rh negative, and they wanted to keep my placentas. And they came and stole them out of my hospital room, the cabinet in my hospital room. So to cover themselves, they said I was crazy because I said I was talking to my babies in my womb. So if you're talking to your babies in your womb, that's not the same as hearing voices. So what they did was they turned it around and said she's hearing voices when I said I was talking to my babies in my womb. Now, when I worked as a professional at the University of South Florida under Delegate 3 University Head Start in the Louis de la Parte Florida Mental Health Institute, brain research was happening heavy, and they were encouraging mothers to put headphones on their belly, their pregnant belly, so that the neonate could listen to classical music. And this was supposed to make that neonate an intelligent, more intelligent child by creating more axon synapse connections, dendrite synapse connections, okay? So when I presented all of this to my judge, Catherine G. Esrick in family court, that made no difference to her. And I couldn't understand for the life of me how they could not listen to research. I went online and got research from white people to present to my white judge, and it didn't make sense to her. Now, did I have any white attorneys? I had no white attorneys. My first attorney was Norman Palumbo Jr., and he had very, very gold skin. I don't know what his nationality was, but he was not a Caucasian. The person after that, I think, was Angela Bridget Wright, and she was maliciously negligent. The person after her was Henry Nobles. He was maliciously negligent. The person after that was, I was about to name call. I must still be hurting. Attorney Barbara Twine Thomas, who ended up being gifted a judge seat because she railroaded me and got my rights terminated. She went to court and said, Your Honor, she ain't taking her medicine. She crazy. That's what my attorney said. Now, I said, I've already prepared the motion to dismiss. It already shows they have no probable cause to ever have even taken my children. And she refused to use my line of defense. And her line of defense got my rights terminated and got her pushed into a judge position. It advanced her political career at my expense and at the expense of my children that just turned 20. My son doesn't have a high school diploma. His uncle who adopted him was yelling and screaming at her, You need to drop out. You need to drop out of school. And if you don't believe me, you can ask all of my children. Was Brian there? I don't know if they'll tell the truth because my brother's still alive and everybody's pretty much afraid of him because he's the kind of person that once he charges at you, you got to be willing to try to kill that fool because he ain't got good sense. He's got anger issues. He's an alcoholic, and now he's using meth. So until my brother dies, the children aren't really going to want to come forward and say too much of anything. My nephew Alexander was there, the same one who my brother got mad at and was beating his head on the concrete there at the house. And we went to court with Amber Tuberville, and that was, a kangaroo court set up too. First it was going to happen in Zoom, then they scrambling, you got to come to court. So with that court hearing, I'm pretty sure they used that. And maybe they might have even taken the two children that I have with me into DCF custody and reassign them to Ava. I think Ava's getting a disability check for Abby and probably child support for Abby, even though Ava has never had Abby living with her. As far as Angola, either Clarence is getting child support checks for Abby, for Angola, excuse me, or that's what I think. And I think that Alva might be getting a check from Amun, which is the twin boy, and Anthony may be getting a check for Aset, which is the twin girl. But the twins are both financially in desolation. They get a job. They can never work 40 hours a week regularly because behind the scenes, their uncle and auntie is telling the people they can't work a certain amount of hours because that's going to cut the checks off for them. My two children graduated, and what they got as a gift from their uncle, adopted dad, is evicted from the house so he could get more money because he's been pretending for 2 decades that he is a roofer when all he is a tinkerer and a thief. And I hate to be the one to put it so bluntly, but that's the reality. There's a couple of names I needed to add to that potential doppelganger list. The name Leeks, Michael, and his wife, Leeks, Leeks. There was a Julia that used to work at Burger King on Fowler and Nebraska. I met her when Gregory Sistrunk was the manager there. And there's a couple of other people. I don't have my notes in front of me, so I have to just move through my mind and recall these things. It's not coming to my remembrance. Cherie, who lives in Grant Park. What is Cherie's last name? She was a flea market vendor, short, really short lady, kind of wide. She always wears these really exaggerated wigs, usually gold, blonde, red. She has gold on her two dominant teeth in the front. You know, like when you have buck teeth, those two big teeth. I don't know the name of those teeth. And she is into fraud work also. I think she might have done some fraud concerning myself and my children. She was helping me when my family called DCF on me and I needed to go to the Raymond O. Sheldon school building to conference with the school board people there for homeschooling. And my memos were on her Apple phone. My car disappeared from Dr. Twiggs's building. We were going and checking on it regularly. So I went online to code enforcement, to the City of Tampa website, and said, hey, my car disappeared. I think code enforcement might have taken it. Please help me locate my car. And they were supposed to contact me February the 27th, and they didn't. Now, through listening to Tarot on YouTube, a couple of tarot readers said that a mechanic had something to do with it, and the mechanic was being told he should go back to his home country before it becomes a problem. So my sister, my oldest sister, Alva, Melreen Atkins, her baby daddy, Brent St. John, he's a mechanic, and he's the one who helped me move my car. So he was familiar with my car. He might have something to do with the disappearance of my car. I don't know. My brother has a friend named Dave from Jamaica who's also a mechanic. And the way this works, if you don't know, you pay your mechanic my youngest sister, Ava, her baby daddy to her youngest child, Samuel Lewis, owns a car lot on Nebraska and Sly. So he has mechanics. And he used to be friends to Thomas Stewart, who was once my friend and is now not my friend. And do I need to say that? No. So I'll try to keep it. So there's a lot of mechanic people that I know that could have removed my car. But what happened was the hackers got into the phone and started controlling the phone. I am alleging that my brother, Anthony Cathartis Atkins, has been cloning my phone since he lived with us at 6010 North 32nd Street. That was in 2020 because I met Mr. Lawrence because I was trying to get away from James Johnson's house and I was spending a lot of time there. And I was trying to get away from 6010 North 32nd Street because my brother, after losing his place in Summerfield, him and Tina Fernandez were living together with her mother and Amun and Aset, my twins that he adopted, the dog Ranger, the cat Mitzi, and he came back. He was very angry, I guess, about losing the place, and he was trying to fight me, and he had, things that he wanted to change around the place, which meant I was in his way if I had anything to say about it. And my phone rang, but before my phone rang, his phone rang. And it kept happening, and I didn't know what that meant because I didn't know anything about phone cloning. So now looking back on that event, what was happening was he had cloned my phone number. He was getting the phone call before I was getting the phone call. That's terrible. So my brother has seen me as a source of income, I guess, ever since I was at least 5 years old. Shameful. Don't expect him to tell you the truth. You'll have to look for body language cues. And if you can call me in and I can talk to you, I can help you with very beneficial information. He's an Aries. He's not going to tell you the truth ever. Donnie Dwayne Flowers says he's an Aries, but one thing about these fraud workers, they have many different identities. So I don't know if Donnie Dwayne Flowers is his real name. I don't even know if he's an Aries, Pisces. I don't know. The other fraud worker, Thomas Stewart, definitely. Letitia Karima Penn, Virgo. She's a fraud worker. Melina Jubilee DeBeck. She's a fraud worker. Galvin Imisube, her boyfriend. He's a fraud worker. These people have stolen a lot of cash out from me. Dorothy's will, I started a GoFundMe. I am assuming that Anthony and Ava took that over and took the monies. I never got any money from that. That the money was supposed to go to paying off the loan on 6010 North 32nd Street because when my mom died, she left that property completely paid off. And my brother manipulated me anyway. And Alva sounded like she was manipulated. She might have been playing games into getting a loan. And when we went to sign for the loan, they kept saying, don't put the date, don't put the date. And I was like, that ain't right. I'm not going to leave the date open. So I kept putting the date. And I believe that was because my brother planned to get several loans. So he probably got more than the $30,000. That payment was $352. He intentionally didn't make those payments so that the house could go into foreclosure so that he could have his investor buddies buy it so that we lost our 25% interest in the property. And to this day, I've received $0. But they're telling me to go to the court. I called Ava. No, first, my brother came. This has been months ago. This was like October. To Amazing Love, where we go and they feed homeless people there. He went up to my daughters and said, tell your mom her inheritance is here. She need to go to Cousin Toy's house. Well, these people have been trying to kill me. They had insurance policies against my life, and I ain't told nobody they could have no insurance policy against me. And I'm assuming somebody got to sign something to get an insurance policy on you. How were they able to get an insurance policy on me? I don't even believe in that bullshit. I've been calling Tallahassee saying cancel all policies for Aileen Atkins, Ava, not Ava because she ain't my child, my children, Abby, Angola, Amun, Aset, Aileen Atkins. Cancel those policies. Because these are the kind of people, they done already put us out of the house, hoping, she'll be homeless, she'll be living somewhere in a shelter and we can pay somebody to start an argument and kill her and collect the money, take the children, get some checks from the children. And, we don't have to put up with her because she's always disagreeing with what we want to do. And that's pretty much true. So I want to know, how were they able to get insurance policies on me? Thomas Stewart, did you have an insurance policy on me? How can he get an insurance policy on me? He's nothing to me. How can he get an insurance? Oh, if they fake marry you, then they can get an insurance policy, right? Donnie Dwayne Flowers, did you get an insurance policy on me? After my boyfriend, Lawrence Alexander Cambridge, died, allegedly with COVID. That was July 13th, 2020. That's what Rita Cambridge, his daughter, told me now. I don't know if that's true or not. They sent people to pick him up from his house, a non-emergency ambulance, and a nurse named Adam walked through the house gathering up his, medicines. And there were 2 police officers there, which that's weird that police officers came to take